Welcome. Hello, I am Alicia Eichmann. Welcome to my new series of videos talking about some really amazing books and challenging concepts. It's time to start talking about some of the most amazing concepts that I've read about, that I'm learning about, that have changed my life, but they're challenging, especially for those of us from traditional religious backgrounds. I just did a video about karma. This video is introducing the concept of chakras, and it's challenging, but I believe in this. I believe this is important, and I want to ask you to just be open, just stay with me for a bit and listen, and just entertain the question of, what if there's something to this? What if there's something to be gained from this? And if it's really challenging, I like to use the concept of myth and just thinking about this idea of, like, it may or may not be true. What matters at first is the results that you get in your life from it. Myths can be powerful because stories so affect us. And so I want to tell you some stories from today's most influential, amazingly amazing, wonderful spiritual teachers who resonate with us when they teach. They're ideas that we need to listen to. Everyone alive on earth today is meant to be here, is meant to be part of this moment. And I believe our biggest challenge in this time is to be open to something new and different, and to let go of that which we're holding on to, and also let go of nameless fears. Like, if I say I want to talk about karma or chakra and it's not going to be a joke, like, we're just afraid and we don't even know why. And it's just because of how we were raised. We were raised by those who didn't want anything to threaten the status quo, and the status quo is not going to take us into the future. We've got to let go of it. So I'm not going to super dive into this book in this episode. I'm just going to hold it and wave it around. Because we can't even, I want to talk about these things. This book is already changing my life. So what I want to do in this video is just explain a little bit, and I'm going to try to tell you a story, a sacred story, a myth. I want to tell you a story about how to think about chakras and why they're useful and why it's okay to explore them and learn about them. Okay, so this all starts with quantum physics and this new concept of energy. And if you followed me at all, you know I've been talking about this a ton. I talk about it in my book, Becoming Spiritual. I talk about it in just everything, because I have like 10 shifts I list in my book, but the single most fundamental one is energy. It's the shift from matter to energy, and it comes from, like, science has made a shift over the last several hundred years from this kind of metaphor or framework of machine, the Newtonian and, all of that. Like, we've been operating with science on this concept for a long time of just nature as machine and ourselves as a machine. And with a machine, you can take apart all the different parts and you find all the pieces and you put it all back together. And you find the laws and the rules, and it operates, and it works. And nature is amazing. That paradigm has worked for a really long time. But what we're learning from quantum physics aligns with what the mystics from all the different spiritual traditions have also told us throughout time, which is that there is this energetic, spiritual, higher level of truth and understanding, and at the same time, a foundational spiritual energetic level to the world that we didn't know that it was there. And we're awakening to it, I believe, as just everyday people it is time for us to grow into this next level. So we're all awakening to it. The way that we talk about meaning and calling and wanting to know our purpose, and just, we're very blessed for so many of us in this world. Our basic needs are met. And so hierarchy of needs, we're moving up to that higher levels of wanting to be fulfilled spiritually and emotionally, and to be creative and to live out our calling and our purpose. And that is good, and that is healthy, and that is exactly where humanity is supposed to be right now. So one of the fundamental truths that we need to begin to entertain and embrace and understand about the world is this idea that everything is fundamentally energy. And that is what quantum physics, they discovered it like almost 100 years ago, but it's taken a long time for them to apply it to metaphysical things. They started using these new understandings in computers and technology right away. But as I've started to read some of these books, a good one was The Field by Lynn McTaggart, and I want to read more, but many of these authors allude to it, and it's a commonly understood in academic circles that when you go into the very, 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 very smallest thing that makes up all of us, it's energy, and it's connected to everything else, and it can communicate and move and operate in ways that defy the laws of physics and defy our normal understanding of the world. And I think what's happening on that small level, the same is true of the universe. There's so much that is just beyond what we can understand. And just looking at pictures from the Hubble telescope, I'm in awe at how beautiful those things are. And Carolyn Miss was just saying, hey, go look at those pictures and then imagine that's what your soul is. That's what you are deep down, is this infinite, beautiful depth of mystery and beauty, right? So, anyways, the point of all of that is that the world is energy and has an energetic level. Like, empty space is not actually empty space. It's energy that communicates. And like, our thoughts and emotions are energy that affect other things. There's mysterious energetic ways that scientists are beginning to prove, and many spiritual traditions have already seen this from a spiritual point. Separation is an illusion. We are not as separate as we think. We're not as different as we think. We are much more connected than we realize. And all of these truths are founded on energy. And so, oh dear, I've done too many videos today. Okay. So, everything is energy. You and I have energy bodies. We have an energetic experience, an energetic level of our being that overlaps and overlays and is connected to our physical body, but that develops. Oh, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I'm gonna get a frog in my throat again. Okay. So let me just finish and say that we have an energy body. You have energy. And this is an introduction, so I'm so excited to just open this up and just go there with you guys. But I just want to introduce this idea that based on all these things that we're talking about, the next level of exploring this idea is chakras. And chakras is just a word from Eastern religions, from Hinduism, and it's this ancient spiritual, I think it's real, it's ancient, it's something that their religion that can contribute, that they understood, that the chakras are this framework, this way of talking about and understanding the energy body. So when you do emotional healing, there's energy. There are 7 energy centers stacked on each other, and yeah, it's okay. So what she does in this book is she takes chakras, which is this Hindu teaching about the energy body and about working with ourselves as energy. And she takes the chakra system and then Western psychology and kind of marries them together in this beautiful, like, if you love doing DISC or personality profile or different things, she has the 7 chakras, and she's got a page where it's like, oh, you're this or this or this or this. And I looked at one of them and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm that one. And then I read about that chakra and about how, like, oh, if you have these experiences growing up in your life and you have these characteristics, then that means this is out of balance in this way. It's all about this idea, it's all about spiritual principles and experiences being out of balance. So all of us are on a journey of health. We're all on a journey toward wholeness. And the chakras is just another map from a rich spiritual tradition about how to do inner healing toward balancing yourself based on spiritual principles. So I think with things like chakra or karma, we can be very, based on our background, I know I stayed away from things like this because I thought it was wrong or bad or evil or out there or whoa, or like stay away from that. And now I see that was really just fear-based. That was just my religion wanting to maintain the status quo and feeling threatened by other things that were outside of it, and just, but it's at its heart, it's this superiority of religion, and it's this exclusivity, which is motivated by superiority, which is motivated by fear, which results in separation between cultures and between traditions. And we can't go forward into the future like that. We can't be afraid to learn from other traditions. And if you're listening to this, I believe that you and I we're not really afraid. We love new ideas. We're ready for something new. We're tired of the status quo. We're ready to move forward. And we just need a little bit of permission. So it's taken me a year. Well, it's taken me a year to, I guess over the past year, it's been a stair step of just allowing myself to entertain this idea and then this idea. And then it took a while before I was willing to, learn about karma. And then chakras has been the most recent, but a year ago I was reading Wayne Dyer because that was where I was at and that was as much as I could handle. And if you want to learn about my journey, becoming spiritual, pictures right there, that picture right here, where is it? Anyways, that's the cover of my book, Becoming Spiritual, Alicia Eichmann. You can look it up on Amazon if you want to know about my story. But in that book, I just kind of share my story of my spiritual journey from just coming from this background and then having this experience and experiencing miracles in my life and reading through books and just kind of having this journey of where I got to where I am today. So when people watch this video and say, what happened to you? I can be like, go read the book. That's what happened to me. Although, the book can only say so much, but that's a good start. Anyways, so everything is energy. Everything that's matter has an energetic presence, an energetic being, and everything that exists has an energetic level at which it can be experienced, and that is also true of you and I. Now, you and I also have the most the most complex, powerful, we're the most complex, powerful creatures, right? Compared to the animals, we're the most developed, whatever, the most autonomous. And so, as incredible as the human being is, we have an equally incredible and beautiful and mysterious and just exciting and interesting energetic level at which we can be experienced. And energy healing, energy work, chakras, I know you might see artwork, there might be things that still cause reactions, or I know I still see things that I'm like not ready for yet, but when I find what I am ready for next, it's freeing and it's exciting, and I am ready to start sharing about those things that are resonating with me. And if you're there, if you're ready to go there, I want to invite you to join me, follow along as I dive into these different spiritual truths and systems and this integrative approach to helping us move forward. So, welcome to the journey. If you are not on my newsletter, please go to aliciasouladventure.com and sign up for my newsletter so that you can get my regular updates.